So if you'll please tell us your name, your full name, and where you live, and what you're currently doing in the world.
My name is Tracy Corey. I currently living in Tucson, Arizona. I'll soon be making a shift over to San Miguel de Allende in Mexico. So I'll be going back and forth. Currently, I am a doula in Tucson, doing a lot of different things. For Tucson End-of-Life Doulas, for still point transitions, which is my own personal thing, and then Death and Grief Worker Collective with my colleague Jeremy Damick, and that's a collective for death workers. Yeah, death and
I
grief.
love it.
Yeah.
Jeremy went through the school too with Deanna, as you
Yes.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. We
And you
we
didn't meet in the school, did you?
no, strangely, we met. He posted something on Instagram and I responded to it, and then we just became immediate best friends. And
He's
then it turns out
wonderful.
his family is here in Tucson. He's living in Mexico. He knows Deanna. He went to the same school. I'm like, wow, when you're in the right place, it just lines up.
I just love that for both of you. What a
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So, what was going on in your life when you heard about the end of life doula concept for the first time?
So that would have been around 2010, 2011. And I think it was Deanna's kind of first version of the school. And I started with her way back then, way back then. And it just was an immediate fit. I'd always been kind of that person in my family who people came to. I was the one who just knew how to do it and how to be present with people who were dying, and even just big life transitions, the smaller deaths, the divorces, all of that stuff. And
I
then
love it.
about probably a couple months into the program and talking to Deanna, my dad got sick. And that took it to a whole different level.
Oh, yeah.
And so I left the formal study, but he ended up dying in 2014. And then my grandfather 3 months after that. And then my uncle got diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2 months after that. And then a year later, my
Mhm.
grandmother fell. It was four people dying in 5 years,
Mhm.
primary people in my life. And it became the beating heart of my life of watching, walking them home basically, and what that looks like. And, from Alzheimer's, from cancer, from just old age. It was intense school for 5 years. It was really intense school. And then I thought, maybe the universe had sent me to Deanna and had me read those books so that I could be in that space and know the things I knew. And that was it. But then,
Gift.
I went through a different kind of death of my own after a relationship fell apart. It was pretty toxic. And I thought, I'm off track. I'm off track and I'm experiencing this kind of dark place in my own life. And I thought, when was the last time I knew exactly who I was? And that was in the death and dying time. So I reached back out, and Deanna was just brought me right back in. And the school was completely different, by
Great.
the way. Completely
Yeah,
different.
I bet. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. You can even go back and revisit it now, even after. And she's constantly changing it and upgrading it.
Oh,
I mean,
I know.
you'll
It's
see
it's
new
an
stuff there.
amazing resource. Amazing.
It really is. That was one thing that's always like when I saw all of her resources, I was like blown away. I remember.
Yeah, and she makes herself always constantly available for different things, which is
So what did you like Google it online? Because that's kind of how I did it. Was like I was like constantly looking for an end of life doula role. I found a book and it spoke to me, and then I was like looking for a school everywhere.
I just honestly went back into my email and when was the last time I had spoken to anybody? And I think it was Deanna was the only one that was there at the time.
Oh
I
wow.
found the email from 2011 or 12 or whenever it was, and I went, oh my God, she's still here. And I just emailed her, and she was like, oh,
Oh,
hey,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah, because oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
So I didn't really
wonderful.
go searching. It was actually a surprise to me. I mean, when did I go back? It's been a couple years now. But when I entered that world, kind of in the world as a professional, just in my little world, surprised how much it had blown up. I mean, it was all over
Right.
Instagram, and then you get that algorithm, and then all you see is death doula stuff, and you think it's everywhere.
Yes, it is. It's night and day from where it was even when 2017, it's just night and day. I love it.
Yeah, it is. And I didn't know any of that existed then. So I just went straight back to the source, which is good because
So that's wonderful. So were you certified when you started working as a doula? You were
yeah,
through
yeah,
Deanna's
yeah.
program.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
you
for
were
sure.
certified. Okay.
Yeah.
And you did start doing it pretty much right away, organically with your family, and then
Yeah. Well, I got certified after that. I'd started her original
okay. Oh,
program
okay.
before and then stopped because the dying
Oh,
started.
okay.
There was a long period of dying.
Yeah.
Um, and then came back and finished.
Okay.
And you know what was amazing is that Deanna had always said, I remember her on the phone saying, if you have a calling to do this, you're already doing it. You just need the support and the structure. And I thought, you've lost your mind. That's not true. I need all the books, I need all the papers, I need all the things. I need all of it. And then when I came back and went through the program, oh yeah, you're right. We do know this.
Yeah, it's a heart calling, right? It just speaks through you almost, right? That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. And so what's changed in your life basically since you got certified? I guess you can kind of explain how you started your business if you're comfortable doing that and how you met
Sure.
Jeremy.
It happened or it just seemed like the next thing to do. Um,
I love that.
and my son had started doing websites, and I thought, oh, hey, play with
Oh
this. These are
wow.
the colors that I like. And so he was real supportive. And then I met and Tucson has an amazing collective of death doulas at Tucson End-of-Life Doulas. So I got connected with them really fast. And, we meet up every month. The collective does have each other to bounce off of. I met Jeremy, and through our conversations, we thought, we need a space where death and grief workers can come together in compassion, because we saw there was a lot of strange energy going on at the time.
Okay.
And we thought, what can we do to how can we help? What can we do that is going to infuse some of this with compassion and not being judgmental? And that's how Death and Grief Worker Collective was born. And our first course was Cultivating Compassion and Community. Went really
Oh, I
well.
love it. So it's for the end of life workers,
Exactly.
basically.
Yeah,
Oh, I
exactly.
love it. That's a
Yeah,
wonderful idea.
and taking care of yourself first, and um having community, being able to be, because doula work can be very intense and very lonely. When you're in those
Absolutely.
rooms by yourself, and then you leave and you're in the world and everybody's, going to the grocery store and getting gas, and you're like, oh, somebody just died. Like you can be in an entirely different space. And so we wanted to create a space that was just for those people.
Love it.
That was just for those people. So, we're doing courses, we screen movies. Last year we screened Last Ecstatic Days.
Love it.
Death is But a Dream with Dr. Kerr, and he was a speaker. We're talking to Prison Terminal right now. We're going to screen their film, and a bunch of those people are going to be on a panel. Yeah, so I
That's
hit the ground
wonderful.
running. I hit the ground running.
So yeah, so maybe that's wonderful help because I think local communities are more doing this more, but if not, we can do it ourselves in our community because there are death workers out there, I'm sure, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, once
they're
you start
everywhere.
pulling the thread, they're everywhere. Something I'm really passionate about is education for kids. And last year, so in Tucson, we have something called the All Souls Procession every year. It's this
Yes.
amazing, amazing, amazing march for the dead. And the day before the main procession, there's something called Little Angels, which is just for kids and families who have
Oh,
lost kids that get overwhelmed by the big walk that's the next night. And last year, Tucson End-of-Life Doulas, we set up at Little Angels and basically had coloring sheets for kids, put out blankets. And these little kids, man, they just talked and talked and talked. Like,
I
this is
love
my
it.
dog, he died, and this is how he died. And like, we need this space where kids can just openly talk about it. And that's how I think we ultimately shift the death culture. Not shift it, reclaim it, because it was their
Right.
work, is with
Absolutely.
the kids, like that it's safe to talk about, that it's normal, that it's natural, that it's a sacred rite of passage. I mean, death is a sacred rite of passage, and nobody is going to get out of it.
I love that.
Yeah,
And then they can grow up teaching their children that it's okay to talk about it.
exactly, exactly. So we can have normalized conversations around, really tough topics, but um, they're also transformative. And ultimately, death teaches you how to live. So why not have that conversation now so that we can learn how to live now?
I
Yeah.
love it. Sounds like you're doing a great service in your community. It's very exciting.
Oh, thank you, Maureen. I appreciate that.
It means a lot to the world. We all need it, right? So,
Well, yeah, and coming back to, kind of going back to what you said about coming, how I got here now and what I'm doing now, it's shifted. Death work has shifted my life. I mean, I've never been more myself than I am now. And I felt like
love
it
it.
took a long way to get here. Um, but I'm grateful for every piece of it because I wouldn't be here without it.
Beautiful.
Doing the work that I love, and I have found incredible, incredible friends and community and clients. You become part of their lives, and
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And their families' lives and their
yeah,
loved ones' lives, whoever that
yeah,
is. Yeah,
you become part of the fabric of a pivotal moment.
it's
Yeah, and
beautiful.
I don't take it lightly, and it's an incredible honor.
Absolutely. It really is.
It really
You're
is.
inspiring me. I'm sure you'll be inspiring many people. So
Oh, thank you, Maureen.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to end with or share about that we haven't discussed?
No, just I really appreciate this. It's been wonderful.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
We're very, very grateful for this time. And I'll get everything up and we'll share. Thank you, Tracy, so much. We're so
Thank you,
grateful.
Maureen.